Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you for joining me again for another live Q&A session or voiceover community chat as we have renamed it. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Angela. I'm a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and my channel is dedicated to those of you just getting started out in this wonderful world of voiceover and audiobook narration. And through my channel, I share with you tips and tricks and techniques that I use every day in my own voiceover business. And then we get together weekly in these chats to talk about a certain topic or two. And these topics come from all of you. It comes from all of the questions that I see on social media, all the questions and comments that I get from my YouTube channel, and from the people that I work with almost every day. So I'm hoping that this will help you to make decisions and move forward with your own business. But if you're not new here, then you know that every week we have a poll, and that is inspired by today's topic, which is audiobook basics. What do you need to get started? Right? So the poll is, in your opinion, what should come first in getting started? Because you're going to hear all kinds of different opinions on the topic, right? You're going to hear some people will tell you you got to get the equipment. Some people will tell you you got to get the coaching and the training. And some people will tell you don't buy anything, just practice, practice, practice to see if you even like it, and then go into the other things. But I know that typically we have a wide range of experience levels in audiobook narration within my viewership. So I wanted to get an idea of what you guys think. In the very beginning, even, how do you feel? What do you think is necessary first to get started? And then also for my viewers that are maybe a month or two or a year in, even, in retrospect, what do you think should be first now that you know what you know? So far, we have 33 votes, and it looks like 12% of you said training or coaching. 18% of you said equipment, which is your mic and your interface, your DAW, the computer, the headphones, all of the stuff that you buy. 49%, almost half of you, said research, watch videos, tutorials, how-tos, follow other voice artists on social media and listen to what they have to say. And 22% of you said to practice on your own to see if you like it, right? That's what I wanted to put in there, but you're limited in characters, so it came out, do you like it? But I think you know what I mean. So again, I've seen a lot of people over the past week on social media, experienced voice artists, saying different things in terms of what you need to get started. So I think I have to say that again, there really isn't one direct path to doing this. I think it's going to be subjective. It's going to be based on what you feel is important, and I guess how much passion or how much need you have to get started in this. It's going to differ. I have also found over the course of the last 6 years or so, in talking to all the people that I talk to, that some people even have some equipment already available, right? So of course, what you do first is going to be different. So I really wanted to get a pulse on what you guys thought. And it looks like research, watch videos, and how-tos are an overwhelming opinion on what to do or what to get started with first. And I have to say, I did the same. I did the same because I'm one of those people that as soon as you hear of something that piques your interest and you want to give it a try, you do a little research, right? You find out what's involved, how much time it takes, how much investment in time and money, what equipment you're going to need. Is this something that I can feasibly do, right? You want to find out everything that you can find out about it, discover in that research who to follow, what some certain terminology means, perhaps, so you don't, I don't know about you guys, but when I first reached out to somebody, I didn't want to sound like a fool and I didn't know what the heck I was talking about, right? So I think research is pretty much the common thing, I would think. I did that too. And it looks like you guys pretty much agree with me. But I would have to say, after research, practicing is going to be a good thing to get started with after that. Because after you know a little bit about what this all what entails, what this entails, and how much time and how much investment and things like that, then practicing to see if you can actually do it is something that is going to be, I think, beneficial. Although, I guess to practice recording, that stage of practicing is going to require equipment. But when I say practicing, I think that next stage after research is just reading any book you have on your shelf out loud. Because you will soon discover that reading out loud for long periods of time is very taxing if you're not used to it. And then the next stage after that would be get some equipment. If you find that you can sustain out loud narration for long periods of time, then the next step would be equipment. And then to start practicing with recording yourself out loud and to get used to the DAW and all of those things, how everything works together. And then I think the next stage after that would be training and coaching, right? To make sure that you're understanding the process correctly, because we don't know what we don't know until we have to know it. And then having someone guiding you along that path to knowing what you need to know is going to be helpful. Not only in, getting everything set up properly in terms of effects, mic placement, treating your sound booth or your recording space, but also in performance tips, right? Understanding the different characters, how to make character voices, pacing, tone, all of those things, because they are important. So just to recap, I think research, practice, equipment, training, I think, in retrospect, for me. And it looks like you guys are pretty much on the same path. 55%, 18%, 16%. Yeah. Alrighty then. Cool beans. All right, let's hop on over to the comments and let's see who we got. A lot of comments today. 42 people in here. Wow. Thanks, guys. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Don't forget to hit that like button. Not literally, but just click the little thumbs up button. Don't smash it. First in is Christina. Good morning, Christina. She says, to practice is to succeed. To overcome all obstacles is but the greatest challenge we all face in overcoming our fears. By practicing, first you lose the fear of failing and screwing up your DAW, computer software, etc. Practicing gives you experience as well as builds your skills, allowing you to overcome all obstacles, VO or life skills alike. When did you become a prophet? Christina. Oops, my inner Joya is writing again. LOL. Just don't get lost in practicing. For to do the task itself is also a symbol of success. That is absolutely a 100% accurate and pretty much aligns with what I always say. Just do it, right? Don't allow yourself to get caught up in, I don't know if I can do this. My voice, I hate the sound of my own voice, but I don't have this equipment or I don't have that training. I don't know what this word means. Maybe I shouldn't. Just stop all of that and just get it done. Don't allow yourself to get stuck in the procrastinating stage, as we say, where you're voluntarily putting yourself in the I'm not ready stage because of X, Y, or Z. Learn what you have to learn and then learn also as you go, because that is very valuable. Because again, you're not going to know what you don't know until you have to know it. And you won't know what you have to know until you're doing, right? Until you're hands-on, actually physically doing it. And then all of these other questions come up that you know now to ask and then to, in turn, get an answer to, right? Yes, just do it. Just get out there already. Eric is here. Hello, Eric. Can't recall how I learned about ACX, but the first VO-related video I ever watched was ACX's video on how to set up a studio, what equipment you need to get, and morning. Morning, Eric, to you. Good morning, Eric. Yeah, I think there are quite a few ACX videos, not only on YouTube, but ACX University, which I also think is on YouTube, isn't it? But ACX has a lot of videos pertaining to different aspects of like producer checklists, performance tips, and things like that. Plus, you'll also find, including myself, a lot of other audiobook narrators and voice actors on YouTube that are sharing valuable information on various aspects and topics regarding voiceover and audiobook narration. So there's tons of free information out there to aid in your research in whatever stage that research you're in. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think so. It was kind of a tangent. Oh, baby one. Caesar says, organically, hi, Caesar. I feel like equipment comes first, then practice, then research, then coaching. And I feel more strongly about this now than I did before, because there's no greater teacher than actual experience. I tried researching ahead of purchasing equipment, and I didn't understand half or more of the terms I encountered. Noise, compression, harmonics? No clue. That said, hello, Angela. Hello, everyone. I think I have come to grips with the realization that I actually know what I'm doing. I think you do at this point, Caesar, more than you give yourself credit for. It's a very strange feeling. It's almost expertise. I like it. You should. It's well-deserved, Caesar. Rustic Hillbilly is here. Good morning. Caesar says, hello, Joya. Eric, Rustic Hillbilly, hope you're all doing well. I feel pretty good today, despite sneezing in 3 different colors. Wow. I may have developed an allergy to a cleaning chemical. I hope you're not breathing toxic fumes in, Caesar. What are you doing? Christina then says to Caesar, shh, I'm incognito today. Not really. I think you outed yourself. Caesar says to Christina, oh, right, sorry. Nice weather we're having, huh, today or something? Yeah. Brian's here. Good morning, Brian. Good to see you. Good morning, all. Brian says research. Without it, you won't know what coach to get, what equipment you even need, and what to even practice. Very true. Very true. There's a lot of information you can pick up here and there just by the research stage, watching other people, right? And asking questions in live discussions such as this one. Lorna. Hi, Lorna. Hi, all. Good morning from Oregon. Went from 20 to 60 degrees in a week. Feels like spring. Same. It's going to be, I think, 80 something today. But then later in the week, here in the desert, and then later in the week, it's going to be rainy again. And it was like 32 degrees a week or two ago. And I know that's not very cold for a lot of you, but for here, for me, it is. Caesar says, I felt the same way too, Brian, until I realized that research can only get you so far. The only way I could understand my research was by doing everything wrong first. Yeah, unfortunately, you're going to have a little bit of that too. And that's completely normal and natural in trying anything new. You're not going to be 100% right on the money every time. You're going to fall on your face a couple times. But again, as I always say, it's a learning opportunity. It's not failure. It's a learning opportunity, right? You have to look at everything through a positive lens. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. If you're meant to learn it, you will learn it. It might be the hard way, but you will learn it, right? Brian says to Caesar, sorry to hear about the allergy. I hope the 3 colors are cool colors, though, like neon green and pink. They would look very sharp in your studio, Caesar. A little splash of color. Hmm. Dylan's here. Good morning, all. I said research comes first, but in hindsight, one can research all they want, but until they're talking into something other than a banana, they're not going to produce very good audio. I point. I mean, hey, I think, but through the research process, I would hope that a banana is not a suitable a suitable microphone to speak into, or a suitable. I would hope visuals talking into a banana. That's so funny. Oh my god! Hold on, we just got a super chat. I'm coming. Hold on. Miriam, thank you, Miriam. You're such a sweetheart. Thank you for the super chat, Miriam. I'm tempted to ask. Yeah, I'm going to ask Miriam. How's the nonfiction narration going? Have you been practicing? Inquiring minds want to know. Okay, where did I leave off? Oh gosh. Nope, I scrolled up too far. I'm so sorry. There's like no way to bookmark where you were. Oh, here we go. I found it. MG Stevens is here. Good morning, Angela and everyone. Good morning, MG. I chose research first, but this is only for a short time, few weeks or months, just enough until you commit to buy some equipment and get started. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a valid point. I mean, you don't know if what you're buying is a banana or something that's going to actually carry you through a few months of getting this business off the ground until you can invest in something a little bit more, I hate to use the word professional, but maybe better suited for voiceover. Because I mean, let's be real. We don't all start out with a Sennheiser 416, right? We just don't. They're expensive. So we start out with something a little bit economical, right? But I think there's been so many new microphones come onto the market that won't break the bank and sound really good. If you are in the research phase and are looking for some ideas for what kind of a microphone to buy, if you go to my website voiceoverangela.com, go to the VO Gear tab, I have like pages of stuff that I have used myself or know from listening to a lot of my colleagues that work very, very well and won't necessarily break the bank. So, more research for you, I suppose. Sorry, but I think helpful in the end. Any Hoosiers. Robert Reed, beautiful smile. Oh, thank you. KM is here. Good morning, KM. I sat and read to myself out loud first to decide if it was something I could actually sit and do and enjoy. And it is. And I think that is another necessary step. Because if you find that, and again, keep in mind that this is just like exercising or anything else. It's like you have to build a tolerance, right? You have to build up that stamina, lung capacity, right? Learning to narrate out loud for potentially hours on end is a difficult task. Not only that, but then if you throw into the mix character voices and the fact that your job is to make whatever you're narrating engaging, so you really have to understand what you're reading to get the inflections out right. Understand, there's so much to it, and I think reading out loud as practice even before even if like you're in the middle of the research phase, you throw in a little bit of practice time within that research phase that could probably be feasible too, just to see if it's something that you want to do before you then go and research what to buy, right? And getting the equipment. But I think that's smart. And a lot of people ask me, well, what can I do to practice out loud, out loud, apart from just grabbing a book off your shelf and just reading it out loud to yourself, or maybe to, your kids or your grandkids or to your spouse. You could also go to I put this on a banner for you guys. I'm always asked how to spell this. If you go to LibriVox.org, it is a place where you can volunteer your time and expertise in narrating books in the public domain, either by the chapter, section, or book in its entirety. And in doing that alone, you'll not only practice with narrating out loud, but also learn formatting, right? Because audiobooks, the files need to be formatted to appropriate specs. And so working with LibriVox, you have to also format those files to specific specs. So you learn so much in just doing that. The confidence you gain after you complete a section, a chapter, or a book in its entirety is just, it's priceless. Because then you can move forward again with the confidence knowing that you can do it, you can format files appropriately, and you do enjoy this and you want to move forward. And if you're also looking for something else to practice with, if you go to Gutenberg.org, and it's right there on the screen, that is where you'll find books in the public domain. So if you don't have any books on your shelf, you don't have a Kindle, you don't have any access to books at all, you could go to Gutenberg.org, and there's tons of books in the public domain there. You can use those for practice as well. Wanted to share that before I forgot. Lost my place again. Okay, here we go. Brian says to Caesar, I have to agree that research will only go so far. It's just where you start. You need the others soon after. Agreed. Brian says, like real soon. Agreed. Andrietta Sims, good morning. I discovered your channel a few days ago. Well, welcome to the Tangents. I want to thank you for your encouragement. I'm not going to give up. Well done. That's the attitude to have, Andrietta. You can't give up. This is something that you want to do because, as I've said before, you're going to have difficult times. There's going to be speed bumps and obstacles and things you need to learn, maybe even setbacks. But if you keep moving forward, even in those baby steps, you will eventually get to where you want to be. You have to have the drive and the passion to get there. And I love that you have this attitude. Love it. Good for you. Roy Debohun says, good morning, gang. Good morning, Roy. Happy Tuesday. Got my equipment, and now I'm building my soundproof room. How fun. I'm so glad I found you all. I love the support, and I'm so happy to ping thoughts off you all. That's exactly what this is for. I'm glad you find it helpful. Yay. Caesar says to Dylan, amusingly enough, I searched how to turn a banana into a microphone on YouTube, and Mike Russell turned up. If you haven't yet discovered, side note, if you haven't discovered Mike Russell's channel on YouTube, I highly recommend checking it out. He's got tons of videos on DAW, like effects and how to do like little shortcuts and how to make your noise floor appropriate and things like that for not only Adobe Audition, but I believe Audacity and Reaper too. I could be wrong, but it's a great channel. Go check it out if you're looking for a DAW to choose or need some help with your DAW. Sadly, it's an April Fool's video, of course, but it's funny that there actually is one. I was hoping I could disprove you. That's so funny. Chat with Lorna, learning channel. Cute. Do you have a learning channel? How awesome is that? Hi all, tie between research and practice. LibriVox, see, help me understand if I liked it and what I like. That's great. I'm glad that you tried it. Aaron says, good morning, Angela. Sitting in Tyler, Texas with a broken truck. Oh no, my regular job. Love your forum. Been auditioning on voices. Is it a viable way to break in? I dabble a little with ebook, haven't landed. I have to say that voices is probably not the best place to start as a beginner. There's so much competition on voices, and I hate even using the word competition because we all have something unique to bring to the table. But in terms of skill, experience, equipment, the DAW, right? They've got their sound is down, their performance skills are down, right? You're up against voice actors that have been doing this for years, right? So, and also if you're not a paying member, which I assume you have to be if you're auditioning, those other voice actors that are paying that higher membership tier level are more than likely getting those jobs first. Unfortunately, that's just the way voices works. But I would say if you're going to get into audiobook narration, I would start with LibriVox to see if you can even narrate for hours on end and, get the files to be formatted properly, the editing process, all those things that come with it. And then once you discover that you can and you do and you like it, then go on to ACX if it's available in your country and start auditioning for books on Audible. And then you can also find audiobooks and all kinds of other voiceover work on freelance marketplaces. Places like Fiverr.com, Upwork.com, Guru, Freelancer, Backstage. There's tons of them, literally over 100 different casting sites. But Voices and Voice123, I think those two are two of the long-standing voiceover casting sites that you might have a little trouble gaining any traction on as a beginner, although I have been disproven. I did work with someone last year or the year before, never did voiceover before, and she auditioned, I think, for 2 jobs on Voices and got them both. This was the craziest thing I've ever seen. So I could be wrong, but in my experience, probably not the best place. Of course, there's going to be exceptions to everything, right? KM says, yes, I had everything except the booth because I have recording equipment for music. There you go. I've met a few people that already had the equipment because of, maybe they were podcasters before and they already had the equipment. Glowin is here. Hey, Glowin. Good afternoon. Pardon me while I chapstick. And voiceover Angela and chat. Hope you're all having a great day and your coffee is hot. Yes, it is, sir. I've got my little heating pad. Let's see. Not scalding, just right. Love it. Have some Baileys in mind today. Finally, a full day off work. That's awesome. What a great way to start your day off. Baileys in your coffee. Yes, sir. Dylan says to Caesar, trust me, I'm cheap. If it could be done, I would have done it. I've heard of a banana being used for a lot of things, but never a working microphone. Like, what was from Beverly Hills Cop, Banana in My Tailpipe? That always comes to mind when I hear that. Banana in My Tailpipe. Andrietta. Am I saying that right? Andrietta Sims? Yes, training your voice and body. Absolutely. Glowin says, I chose researching, and I've had 0 time in the last 2 months to do anything VO related. Full-time work keeps getting in the way of this, and this is where I want to go. And that's one of the tough points, I think. And it was for me too, finding the extra time in one's day to do anything. But I think, again, from personal experience, I had to sacrifice a little bit of sleep, right? I tried to use the time after work, after the kiddo went to bed, cutting into my sleep time to get just a couple of hours in, if nothing else, but just an hour even, to work on my website, to record a demo, to, you know what I mean? Just to keep moving forward again, even if it's baby steps, just to keep moving forward, right? Hey, my little heating pad, does it recognize my coffee cup? Oh, there we go. Blinking in my face. Spike Flare says, good morning, voiceover Angela. Good morning, Spike Flare. I've gotten comfortable with Audition and recording up to an hour or so at a time, but I still need to get my room more soundproofed. What do you recommend? It's going to be difficult to soundproof unless you have like a soundproof booth, like a whisper room or a Studio Bricks or, something else that's converted into a booth. If you build your own booth, even if you build your own booth, even if you build your own booth, There's no guarantee that it's going to be completely soundproof. Now, you can treat the room inside you're recording in to be sound treated, meaning that you're eliminating echo, you're eliminating outside noise, that your noise floor is under control, right? That it sounds good. You might have to give it a pause if you're recording something and an airplane flies overhead. I do. Or if a kid rides by on a skateboard nearby, because I do. Or if someone's out walking a dog and dogs yapping at another dog as they go by, I do. Right? It's going to be difficult to soundproof unless you buy a sound booth, right? And those can be expensive. Those can be expensive. Andrietta Sim says the 7 Ps what is the 7 Ps? What did I miss? Oh, training your voice and body, the 7 Ps. What are the 7 Ps? Should I know the 7 Ps? Am I forgetting the 7 Ps? Now I'm all paranoid. Spike Flair says, I only have my PC in the large office space I work in. I would even consider moving that PC out of the room. That's exactly what I did in here. I just bought extra long cables for everything that needed to be in here with me while I record and run them under the door to the PC outside this room just to help eliminate the sounds, the fan, everything that makes noise inside of your PC. Also, if you're in a home office type of a space, acoustic foam, rock wool, moving blankets will help to cover any flat, smooth surfaces that will reflect and cause echo. Also, don't forget your ceiling, floor, and your desktop in front of you. Not so much the monitors anymore. Most of the monitors I find don't reflect your voice. But if you think about your voice as a vibration, once you speak, it'll bounce off everything in your room, creating echo. So if you can think about your room, your space that you're in, and then treat those hard, smooth surfaces, that will better your chances of eliminating that echo in your room. Brian says to Dylan, if you get too close to the banana when you're speaking, it tastes better than a microphone. That is very true. Very true. I don't speak from experience, but I imagine that is true. Dylan says, just hit the like button now. My screen is broke and my hand hurts. Thanks, Angela. I said, don't literally smash it. Click it with your mouse. I did say that. T-Nick says, I heard from another person that a lot of people will go and spend all the money on their mic and stuff but won't invest in a course to help you get better. That's true. That's true. And that's why we're having these conversations. I also had somebody recently ask me if they could use their headset to record audiobooks, and I have to say no. I mean, it goes along the lines of, and I'm sure the audio quality is fantastic, but I think you'll have better results if you have something that's designed for voice, for pure, clean voice, right? That way you can have, I think, an easier time manipulating it in your DAW if you have to get it to meet the noise floor, and it doesn't add any you want to get your full, rich, natural voice and tone. And I don't know if headsets can quite do that yet. They obviously don't have what something like this would have to bring out the best of your voice in a pure manner. But I have to agree with you. I think right within maybe that research phase, if you want to take a course and just maybe test, that could go along with practice, take a course, join a Facebook group, as I always say, to get information, to kind of pick up on little questions here and there as they're asked. That could be, I guess, part of the research phase too. But I agree with you. I don't think you should buy the equipment and things until you at least have a little bit of practice, or maybe a little bit of even a course to help you understand, or to realize if you even want to do this or not, if this is something that you're up for, because it is work. It is work. Andrietta says, I've also been listening to readers I like. Good. That is something else that you should totally do. If you're looking to get into audiobook narration, you should be listening to audiobooks yourself. I mean, think of it as not only, something you do in your leisure time, but it's also professional development, listening to other narrators and maybe picking up a few things here and there. I did. Plus, it's entertaining. You should definitely listen to audiobooks. Dylan says to Brian, that's very true, and it's much healthier. Yeah. Andrietta says, also taking classes. Oh, for sure. For sure. The Anxious Gamer says, I have finally started submitting auditions on ACX again. Nothing booked so far, but I did get a couple of gigs on Fiverr the other week. Well, good for you. Were they like voiceover gigs or were they audiobook gigs on Fiverr? I've seen a little bit of an uptick in interest in my audiobook gig over the course of the past 2 weeks. I don't know if that's because I could probably check and find out, but I don't know if that's because I was in the flow wave on Fiverr, like they were promoting me, like I was closer to page 1 or 2, or if there's just been more interest in real voice audiobook narrators, which if that's the case, that's, hey, 2 thumbs up. But don't forget to also use your auditions as samples. Because remember, 40% of audiobook productions are made from samples. 40%, that's almost half. So make sure that you're also posting samples, fresh ones, frequently. Coffee with Sean, I like that. A professor of mine said he didn't like the phrase, practice makes perfect. I have to say I don't either. I like practice. Practice makes permanent, I think. I like that better. Habits. It builds habits. He preferred to say practice makes permanent. Exactly. Meaning you need practice, but to be sure to practice the right stuff the right way. I agree with that. Because there is no such thing as perfect. Because we're all going to be striving for our definition of perfect, which doesn't really truly exist. Right. And even our perfect is going to differ from somebody else's definition of perfect. So if you're trying to be perfect for someone else, it's never going to be. It's just asking for trouble trying to be perfect. I think the permanent is a better way to look at it because it's habit building. Practice builds habits, and those habits, good habits, are going to just be like ingrained and then help you to build that solid foundation for your business. I agree with that. Pamela says, too early to be late? I will trot out for Krispy Kremes. Good morning, all from LA. Yes, if you're late, you bring donuts. I didn't make the rules, man. It's just what they are. You're late, you bring donuts. So Krispy Kremes. I'll take a chocolate-covered one. Thanks, Pam. T. Nick says, I had to realize, accept that I wasn't going to be good or the best in the business right away. I think that's a good way to look at it because you have to realize that you're just starting something new. You're learning. I would never say that I'm the best at anything. I just do what I do. I enjoy doing what I do. And thankfully, I'm very thankful that I'm able to do this full time, but I would never say that I'm the best at anything. Right. I went into narrating with zero experience, so it was really hard. Yeah, same. Audio editing was such a headache, frustration. It is. But again, just like the theme of today is just practice, right? Until you build those habits and until it becomes permanent. But there's still a lot to learn. There's still a lot that I don't know about Audition. I'd only use the functions that I use every day. And that doesn't mean that I know everything about it, right? But practicing is definitely going to help to answer all those questions and to help you get used to all of these new things. Bear338 says, research first, then coffee and donuts. I like that. I should have added that. Research and coffee and donuts, or coffee and donuts while researching. On week 5 of this sickness, actually feeling human today. I'm so sorry you got the crud. I'm glad that you're feeling better. Closer to human anyway. Brian says, Bear338, it's hard to argue with that logic. Same. Yeah, I think you should research with coffee and donuts. For sure. You know what? Let's do this. Let's hop over to the poll really quick because I have a spot where I think I can remember to get back to the comments. But again, today the poll was, in your opinion, regardless of what stage you're in building this business, whether you're at the very beginning, what is your take, right? Or if you've been in this a few months to a couple years, in retrospect, what do you think would be the best way to start? So, in your opinion, what would come first when you're getting started? And we've got, holy Moses, we got 69 votes. I think this might be a record for votes. I think close to anyway. So 13% of you said training or coaching. 12% of you said equipment, which is your mic, your interface, DAW, headphones. 55% of you said research, watch videos or how-tos, like mine. And then 20% of you said practice. And I think throughout the majority of this conversation, we've pretty much been on the same path that you guys are saying. So research, practice, equipment, and then training. Because even if you're getting training, it would help to have all of those other things in place, right? Because then that way, whoever you're working with can help you to get your sound down, help you with effects, can help you with a booth audit, all of those things. So, yeah, I think so. Coolio. All right. Just arbitrarily pushing buttons again. Okay, where did we leave off? We've got so many comments. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Here we go. Bear238 says, research, then start tripping on your own feet and falling upstairs. I'm a pro at both of those. Same. Andrietta says, to T-Nick, the not being good at something is something I was worried about, but I'm willing to be a student again. That's exciting. Yes, it is. I love the way that you look at this, Andrietta. I really do. Caesar says, okay, I had to Google this and I found a banana microphone and I'm tagging Dylan on Discord. I can't say I'm surprised. There actually is a banana microphone. Ryder Dude, good morning. What I would say is important is a general outline of a plan, a step-by-step outline for getting your feet wet. I would agree. However, I think in the beginning, for someone who doesn't know what they should know or what they could know, they wouldn't know what to put in the plan, right? So I think with the plan, you would have to do research, maybe some practice, so you start to learn what you don't know, and then do the plan. Because then you can include in the plan, like getting equipment and things like that, perhaps. But yes, some people, unlike myself, like lists and organization. I'm not. I thrive in just quasi-organized chaos. But some people like lists and things, and I envy those people. So if it works, then totally do it. Excuse me. Miriam says, yes, I have been practicing and got a narration for when to decide to remove the life support book with ACX yesterday. Good for you, Miriam. Practice worked. Sad book, but could be helpful to others. And I love that. And the sad books are, could be tough to get through, but you're looking at it the right way. That's exactly how I looked at it too. This could be super tough to get through at times, but ultimately helpful to other people. I love that. Congratulations. Tycon Delor. Why do I have such hard names? Because I was narrating something with alien names in it this morning, and I had a hard time getting the correct pronunciation of an alien name out of my mouth this morning. So now I'm just fried. I prefer to use a burrito supreme instead of a banana, so I can chow down right after practice. Yes, actually, Yeah, you can see it. So your microphone holder, if you remove the microphone from it, it perfectly fits a taco. Side note. Dylan says to Caesar, "It's glorious." I have to go and see it now. Bear338 says, "Got my microphone and lost my voice 2 weeks after." That just means that we're getting the sickness out of the way. We have what we need to jump right in as soon as you're feeling better, right? That's how I look at it anyway. Andrietta says, "Reading aloud is important and recording myself reading has been helpful." Good. Good. And getting used to hearing your voice outside of your head is cringy in the beginning, but you do get used to it. So the more you do it and then record yourself doing it and listening back, the more you'll grow accustomed and it won't be as cringy. Everybody thinks their voice is cringy, not just you, myself included. Completely normal. So don't be too hard on yourself. Leslie says, "Good morning." Good morning, Leslie. "Even with some experience, still needed research, coaching, practice, then more coaching, equipment, and more coaching and or feedback, and more practice. Rinse and repeat." Yes. Yes. Writer Dude says to continue, "A basic step-by-step manual to get you through practicing and recording that first audition, including a general guide on how to use your DAW, etc." I like that. I like that. Maybe you should write that book. Oh, plan. Book. 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 Sinister Shadow says, "Oh my God. Hi, I'm late. Sorry. I hope you brought the donuts." That's the rule. You're late. You bring donuts. Sinister Shadow. Hello. Donuts. Christine says, "I'm reading aloud a Jane Austen chapter in my car on my lunch break right now." That's so cool. Which book? Read equipment articles to see what I can set up with and am adding them bit by bit. Awesome. Just keep moving forward. It doesn't matter how slow you go as long as you're moving forward. What it takes to get to where you want to be is going to be what it takes. It might take some time. It might be fast. But don't rush it, right? It's going to take the time that it takes. BB Homebody says, "I've had to take a break from ACX auditions at roughly 12 auditions per offer, and most offers being royalty share. I just needed a quiet January." I don't blame you. And it's okay to take breaks. I'm big on rest and rejuvenation, listening to your body. If you're stressed and freaking out, then that's not gonna be good for the productions that you have in your queue. If you get to a spot where you can stop and take a break, take a breather and sort of, rest, do it. Do it. Sinister Shadow says, "Ah, yes, I read everything aloud and in different voices. Good characters and stuff. I annoy my teens because I make voices for their video games." I think everything we do annoys our teens. We just breathe. "You're so annoying, Mom. You're so embarrassing, Mom." Silver Doran says, "In your experience, is there a meaningful difference in soundproofing between using your moving blankets versus using foam panels and or acoustic panels, especially if you're using a condenser?" Again, soundproofing is going to be hard to do unless you have a soundproof booth, like a triple wall soundproof booth or something that you've built or converted into a soundproof booth. If you were talking about just treating your room, I have found that the thicker the panels that you're covering the walls with, the better. The more dampening that adds, the less ability for echo to come through or to sound tinny or hollow, I think is the best way to describe that. So although I have a mix in here, I have like they look like egg crate or like angled soundproof foam tiles, which I have also on my website. An example of what I have those. And then over the top of those, I have these moving blankets over the top just to make sure that I've covered every inch because it's a small room and it doesn't take much for my voice to vibrate around in here and create echo. Chat with Lorna says, learning channel, yes. That's cool. Breaking my shyness on camera. ESL tutor. Stacking skills. My road broke and moving soon, so just camera mic for now. You inspired me to just go for it. Oh, that's good. That's awesome. So you already have some skills in terms of, the tech side, I would imagine. So good for you. Do it. Pavan Kumar says, hi, madam. Well, thank you. Hello. The tech preacher says, what microphone are you using now? This is a Sennheiser MKH 416. This is what this is. Chat with Lorna says, I think that's a duplicate. Oh, she added Angela. Okay. That was more or less a duplicate. Writer Dude says to Caesar, this gives me a great idea, using a banana to do a mic drop, so long as it isn't too ripe. Just going to keep kicking that banana horse. Dylan says, I am now officially in love with the term banana drop. Caesar says to Writer Dude, there you go. Exactly. Book. Writer Dude says, just have to make sure it's in still good enough condition for breakfast the next morning. The banana. Hey, man, the food's expensive. Don't let it go to waste. KM says, I hung moving blankets in a closet and then hot glued the form insulation squares onto it and put gym foam squares down with a rug on top. The whole thing was about $300. Can take it with me when I move. Absolutely, you can. Hot glued the foam insulation squares onto it. I find a lot of people have questions on how to mount these foam tiles, because maybe you're renting or you just can't get them to stick. What I did is I went to my local hobbyist stores. I don't remember if it was Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but I got dense, stiff poster board. Rigid poster board is a better word, rigid. And a large piece. And then I took some spray adhesive and then mounted the tiles to that. I think I got 6 of them on one poster board and then tacked the poster board into the wall. Because I think nail holes are much easier to cover up when you're leaving than trying to scrape off foam-covered adhesive off your walls, right? So that's what I did. And then I just covered everything else with moving blankets just to make sure and to help dampen further. Caesar says to Spike Flair, soundproofing is tough, but I'd start with getting solid core doors with door sweeps and rubber seals. You can also seal off windows with silent curtains. Yeah, there's a lot more to it, I think, than we initially think in the beginning. We just go, okay, well, I just hang up some stuff and be fine. But if you have a window or if you have a big gap under your door and then that lets the noise from the PC outside in, there's a lot of things that you're going to have to really think about and consider and figure, the best way for you in your situation to fix it or to reduce noise. It's a lot more than I think we realize in the beginning. Anthony Gomez is here. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning. I'm newish member of SAG-AFTRA for a couple of years now. Not sure where to begin or what VO jobs to submit myself for. Any advice you have would be greatly appreciated. It would be really, really difficult to say without hearing you or knowing you. But I always say, try everything. You might be limited to what you can do or price-wise if you're a union. So I would definitely take a look at what you can and can't do or prices you can and can't accept, right? If you're part of the union, and then go from there. I really can't speak too much about the union because I am non-union. But if we get to know each other, I could probably at least say, hey, I think your voice would be best suited for XYZ, or maybe try everything, right? But it's hard to say without hearing you. But I would definitely want to adhere to the union rules at the same time. Robert Reed says, did it backwards. First, I found a coach, but didn't put the necessary time in and ran out of money, and then research and equipment, and then found you and Thursday Night Group. but you still ended up in the place that you are now. So again, it doesn't really matter. There isn't really a right way to do these things. It's sort of whatever gets you to that end point, because you still got to that end point. You're still here. You're still, I mean, we're all always in a learning stage. We never stop learning. But even though you didn't do it the way that we think could be right, or the way that we did it, you still got to this point, right? I think. Caesar says, there are 2 headsets and 1 headset attachment that can be used for VO, respectively, Bear Dynamic, Audio Technica, and Antlion. I'm glasses on. Antlion. Despite that, please don't buy an actual microphone. So, well, that's true. I think Audio Technica has a little bit of everything, don't they? I didn't realize that Bear Dynamic did, though. Brian says, is buying audiobooks for research a tax write-off for us? I cannot give tax advice. I cannot give tax advice. But I would say definitely ask your accountant or CPA. I can't give tax advice. Sinister Shadow says, yes, I am constantly on Audible. I get box sets and listen to them, and then sometimes repeat what they are saying myself. I think that's a good habit. I think that's definitely a good habit. I love listening to audiobooks. KM says to Brian, depending on if you started your own business, you may be able to deduct educational costs on a Schedule C. Just check with your accountant. General consensus. Check with your accountant. Andrietta says, the 7 Ps. What I think about when I'm trying to capture a character in a book, bring in the listener, pitch, placement, properties, physical alterations, physical aspect. People, is this continued? I don't see where this is continued, or people. Is that 7? Pitch, placement, properties, physical, people. That's 6. We're missing 1. I think it cut off. Cool. But yeah, that's pretty close to what I always say about script interpretation, right? Who you are as the narrator, who you're talking to, where you are. If it's a character, do they have any kind of attributes that you need to bring in to make their voice? Why you're talking to them. And am I forgetting one? So that's nowhere near 7, but I like that. I'd like to hear what the rest of it is, though. Make sure I'm understanding completely. Chat with Lorna says, with my students, I tell them, when learning, strive for progress first, then excellence. Absolutely. Progress, then excellence. Kelsey, Angela, I brought donuts for everyone. I haven't been here in a minute. See, Kelsey knows she brings the donuts. You're late, you bring the donuts. Come on. Thank you for the donuts, Kelsey. Glad to have you back. Christine says, what about volunteering reading on radio for charity? Sure. Why not? Absolutely. Because that's also marketing at the same time. Do it. Sinister Shadow says to Miriam, yay, how exciting. Absolutely. Kelsey V says, yes, I've been meaning to get the donut holder attachment for my mic. Wow, I just had a light bulb moment. So this would hold a taco and a donut. Could probably fit a donut in there. I mean, the cleanup afterward would just be insane, but donut holder. Oh, yeah. Kelsey says, man, might have to bring some salad to counteract all these donuts. No. Maybe. No. Sinister Shadow says, yeah, where can I get a book like that? Step by step would be amazing. Until Writer Dude writes his book, I do have one. If you're looking for a voiceover book, I have one that's on my desk at all times. This one, Voiceover Voice Actor, the extended edition. This one I definitely recommend. There's a lot of great information in here. This book is also on my website in my VO Gear page, things that I recommend along with a few other books. But this one's got everything from agents to auditions to warm-ups to your studio to, all kinds of fun stuff. All kinds of stuff. Glowen says, sorry, Kelsey, we're all trying to get in shape here, and round is a shape. So donuts it is. Amen, Glowen. Christine says, Northanger Abbey? What is that? I should just wear my glasses. Sinister Shadow says, do muffins count? Yes. Muffins. Muffins count. Yeah. Just pulled them out of the oven. Oh. Apple cider muffins? Are you kidding me? Oh, my stomach's already growling. Did you guys hear that? Bear338 says, I found an amazing exercise called vowel movement, not to be confused with something that sounds similar. Vowel movement. Yes. Cloud says, Sinister Shadow. Okay, those sound really good. They do. It's amazing. Chat with Lorda says, used cardboard privacy screen to attach foam for sound dampening. Worked so well. Son took them. Oh. Darn it. Well, at least you know they work, so you might have to get another set. Caesar says, I'm pretty sure the 7th P is pants. I don't think so. Pants are optional. Bear338 says, my Tuesday is complete. I don't know if you realize how much it means to me to get to talk and visit with people like me. I do realize the impact that has. The impact that it's had on me. And I think the people that this touches every week on Tuesday, I do realize that. And that is why I continue to do it. And I think over the course of the last 110 episodes, I've only missed maybe one or two because I was sick or some other reason. But it's important, I think, not only for everything else we're talking about, the researching, the practicing, the training, the equipment, but also community. Community is so important because, again, you're spending a lot of time by yourself in a room talking to yourself, trying to do things by yourself and understand all of this new stuff by yourself. Joining a community, having a group of people that you can not only talk to and ask questions of, but that can support you and back you up and understand where you're coming from. Because we can talk to our spouses and our kids all, about everything that's going on. They're going to go, yeah, that's great. Good for you. Yay. But they have no idea what you're talking about. To have a group of people who understand and can help you past obstacles and over speed bumps and all of those things and celebrate your wins with you, knowing what they mean, is everything. So I do realize that. And this is why I continue to do this every week, because I've been told many times this is helpful. And it's helpful to me too, to have people that I can chat with. I mean, I can't see you guys, but I know you're here. I know you're here and involved and, contributing to the conversation. I know you guys are here. And also donuts. I'm hungry. I'm sorry. Caesar says also a banana would make for an excellent donut hole. That's true. It would. You might have to widen the hole of the donut maybe, because I think bananas are a little bit wider than a donut hole. But that's easily remedied. That's easily fixed. Bear338 says donut salad. What? Donut salad. Oh. Wow. Kelsey V says our mic holders are going to become like the Stanley Cup accessories. I think our mic stands should have you might have to have saran wrap or something to cover them with if everybody's going to be holding their food with your mic holders. Keep them clean, folks. Keep them clean. Chat with Lorna says that comment with the donut. Clean up, then wink. Oh my God. I'm hungry. Sinister Shadow says, yes, that's the ticket. I'll check it out. Kelsey V says to Bear338, normal sized donuts with donut holes on top, icing, dressing. Oh my God, Robert. Things are a little crazy today, but that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to be a little crazy every once in a while. Julia says, hi, Angela. Question, how big should your booth be? I don't think there's a limit or, just all the people that I've talked to, they either will convert a space of their house, a room, maybe an extra room, a closet even, or they have the space and the money to invest in an actual like recording booth. So there's all kinds of variables in terms of what can make a booth. So I think it's just whatever you have available. My room, I still have no idea what its original intended purpose was, but it serves as a booth. It's about 5 by 6. It's like a weird little closet office thing. I don't even know, but it's like 5 by 6 and 8 feet tall. So it works. It turned out that it was just perfect for this use. So it doesn't really matter how big it is. You just have to treat it appropriately, treat the walls around you. Christine says Jane Austen's first novel, but not published until shortly after her death. Sinister Shadow says, yes, my next one to experiment is, wait for it, Sprite biscuits. Saw it on TikTok. There's all kinds of just mind-blowing stuff on TikTok these days, all kinds of cool recipes. Chat with Lorna says, in context, good son. He does VO, lives in apartment. My computer died, so stopped VO for a bit. Privacy screen, great for rearranging. Blankets on wall. Once moved, I will do it again. Okay, so you weren't actively using them. So he borrowed them, but didn't bring them back. Right? Am I right? Bear338 says, yes. Christina says, YouTube teaches us many things, but remember that not everything on YouTube is factual. You should look for primary sources to support what you learn. The Bill Discord thing is what I'm thinking. That's a great point, and I'm glad that you brought that up, Christina. In your research phase, and I always say listen to everybody. Trust but check, right? Listen to everybody because you're going to pick up, as far as like differing opinions, because you're going to pick up nuggets no matter what you're listening to. But don't take everything you see and hear on social media as fact or true, right? I would love to say, yes, everything that I say is fact and true, because my channel is not for like clickbait or trying to get attention, or I'm here to help. So I try to share as much as I know just to help and to have this community because I love it. But there are some people, and what immediately comes to mind is the videos, namely on TikTok and Instagram, where you'll see people going, hey, do you want to make $1,000 an hour in your PJs with your phone? Go to voices.com and make 1,000. That's kind of what I'm talking about. And I think what Christina's referencing also. So do your research. If you see something that sounds too good to be true, it might be. So check your facts, check your sources, listen to everybody, and make your own decisions on things. Thank you for bringing that up. Julia says also donut sandwiches. Yes, donut sandwiches. You could cut a donut in half and put like ice cream in the middle, or cake, ice cream, cake and ice cream. Oh my God. Diabetes. MG Stevens says to Christine, I volunteer with a local reading service, radio geared toward blind and print impaired people. I do a noon news program 2 days a month. It's live, great experience and service. That is cool. And great practice too. Kelsey V says, my booth is wild looking. I sewed moving blankets to thick comforters, turned them into curtains, and mounted PVC pipes to my walls. And it's suspended from a mount in my ceiling. Wow. Whatever works, man, right? It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to sound good. Brainster Corner English says, hi, Angela. Do you have a video on how to install the WAV file NS1 in Adobe Audition? I could tell you really quickly. You make sure that you download NS1. And then when you open up Adobe Audition, go to, I believe, is it Edit? Oh, Mo. I think it's Edit. You go into Edit, I think. Do I have Adobe Audition? Oh, I do have it open. Hang on, I can tell you right now. If you go to Effects, so if you open Adobe Audition, you go to Effects, you go down to the bottom to Audio Plugin Manager, And then there's a button in the middle, sort of on the left-hand side, that says scan for plugins. You click that and it should show up there. And then once it's there, then you click OK or enable all and then OK. And then it should be available in your effects rack under VST or VST3. I don't know if I have a video that's that specific thing, but that's a quick rundown on how to do that. I'm sure there's people on YouTube that have a rundown on downloading and using effects. Chat with Lorna says, yep, right. Used my studio and liked it, so borrowed it. Yeah, I know how that goes. Christine says, donut, Krispy Kreme waffle sandwiches that I saw on Pinterest. Oh, good God. Kelsey V. Then everything inside is covered with moving blankets and foam. Renters, spackle is your friend. And paint. Miriam says, thank you, Sinister Shadow. Chat with Lorna says, bacon. It is really good on donuts. I like a maple bacon donut. Maple Bars, local donut shop, serves them. I went to Voodoo Donut for the first time not too long ago because they opened one in Arizona. And I was like, that was the first donut that I had from Voodoo, was the bacon maple bar. Amazing. It was amazing. One more comment, and then we're going to call it for today. Darby says, a donut breakfast sandwich with sausage and egg. Delicious. A place nearby makes them. That sounds amazing, too. Oh, my gosh. So many ideas for donut uses. All right, guys, I am out of here for today. I will be back next week. Don't forget to subscribe if you're Team Replay, and liking and subscribing definitely help the YouTube algorithm to show me to more people that might need the help. So if you would be so kind, I appreciate that. But I will see you guys next week. Bye.